Welcome to yet another episode of the Tailgate Update on the Forkball YouTube channel. Back once again. And our boy Devyn's back. Big week of review ahead of us here on the show. Shall we dive in?
Let's go.
All right, let's dive in. Topic number one, the NFL. Free agency is about ready to start. New league year is about to kick off. I think in the middle of March, a couple weeks, the new league year will be kicking off. But Jason Kelce is back in the news. We talked a couple weeks ago. He's planning on retiring, and he now formally retires from the NFL after 13 seasons, all in Philly. Congratulations to him on a great career. It was nice what he did for his trainer, though. He was battling cancer, I think. He had him actually tape up his ankles one last time before he did his press conference.
Oh.
So, that's pretty cool. It's nice of him. Good for him. Long career. Hopefully his back can heal up a little bit.
Yeah, and he apparently needs to work on dadding because I guess he tries to fall asleep when he hears his kid crying or something like that.
No more tush pushes, so he doesn't have to hurt his back every play.
His wife is going to be like, you're home now, so get to it because I got 3 kids. Because, like, NFL moms and wives, like, often are, like, single moms for, like, half the year.
Yeah.
Their husbands are, like, gone making millions of dollars, so, like, you know, there's that, but it doesn't make the day-to-day that much easier, so, like, I think he has a lot to make up for.
Well, I'm pretty sure he does, too. Okay. Denver Broncos end their screw-up trade fiasco they had with Russell Wilson, ending the partnership after just a year, 2 years.
Yeah, in the worst way possible, so he lost a shit ton of money.
So the release of Russell Wilson takes place. What does it take place at the new league year or now?
I thought it was now. I thought he was
pretty sure it's now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the move comes with a record cap hit of $85 million.
And they could have done it differently, too. Brandon Perna spelled out all the ways that you could do it without losing $80 million. So I know you can't.
85. 85 to be exact.
Whatever.
That $5 million extra really hurts. But they did try to save face and told him that he could talk to other teams before the move was made official. So it was pretty much like him being told, hey, you can seek a trade, but we're releasing you and we're going to eat $85 million.
Yeah, way to capitalize on the stupid. Like, just way to finish it out. Make it strong to the end.
Oh, no. They finished it out by trading Jerry Jeudy to Cleveland today for 2 draft picks.
Yeah, that they did.
So all they have is Tim Patrick, a no-name running back, and some dude named Cortland Sutton.
Yes.
And 2 future draft picks.
And two future draft picks. There you go.
Where do you think Russell Wilson's going?
I keep hearing Pittsburgh.
I heard he's talking to Pittsburgh and I think Vegas. I think it's one of the names I saw.
I would love to see Mike Tomlin and Wilson for some reason. I feel like their dynamic would be interesting.
See, I don't know. With Matt Canada gone and that team seriously needing somebody that can throw the ball, I think Russell Wilson would be a good fit for them. Najee Harris could run the ball like Marshawn did, and Russell just throws it out there. You know, I think it'd be a good fit for Pittsburgh.
I'm also imagining Russell Carrington Wilson with Antonio Pierce and with the Raiders.
Oh God!
And I'm here for it all. I'm here for it all. I'll just say that.
Well, we'll
do the Raiders still have to pay? Do the Raiders still have to pay Jimmy Garoppolo?
Yeah.
So I don't know if
he's only suspended for 2, or they're releasing him, right? They released him after he got suspended. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were intending on releasing him at the new league year.
Yeah, so. I think so.
And I think they have to pay him like a certain amount. I think it's like $20 million, maybe at most.
Well, if they're still paying for a quarterback, they might not want to pay for another aging quarterback.
Did y'all see Russell Wilson taking his daughter on a dad-daughter dance?
I did not.
It almost made me cry, and I'm really not a crier.
Really?
Aw.
Yeah, he kept telling she came like okay, first off, he was a DILF and a half because he had that white cream suit on and it was
Oh,
like
settle down, Julie.
it's hard for me to settle down, but yeah.
I don't want to hear it. Settle
Look, my
down.
boyfriend even had to hear it. So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, he looked great and then she came out and then he was like he gave her flowers and then he told her how much he loved her and how beautiful she was and I'm just like, "Oh my God, how cute." In a world full of well, I want
No,
Sarah
what of
Ann's,
what?
if you watch Love is Blind, if you a lot of Sarah Ann's side piece salads.
Ooh.
It was really cute to see uh Russell and his daughter. Yeah. He's just out there being the cutest dad in the whole universe. And like I haven't heard people say he was corny in a minute, and I don't want to hear nothing because he's like just in the news for being too good of a stepdad to the
Well,
his oldest, and then now he's like an adorable dad to his first daughter, and I'm just like, stop. Like that is ugh.
he's no longer trying to hype up Broncos country with "Let's Ride" and eating burritos. So wherever that commercial was, he was doing. Was he eating a burrito or a sub?
Subway, yeah. There's a
Oh,
danger
that
with.
was cheesy as hell.
Mhm.
I can see why people were calling him corny.
Yeah, but being like a good husband and father should not be a fodder for being corny. Okay, like we need more of that. So
It's better to have a corny dad than a not present dad.
yeah, honestly, like a lot of our dads are pretty corny, right? Like it kind of
Oh
reminded
God.
me of my dad because we used to do a lot of dad and daughter stuff, and it was just like,
Mm.
oh my God.
Okay, Devin, did you say where you think he's gonna go?
Oh, it's the same thing. I was thinking
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But
Has
speaking
been-
of ex-Seahawks, there's a couple more, isn't there?
yeah, ex Seahawks are hitting the market,
Ugh,
especially
Quandary Diggs
in
made
the
me sad.
defensive backfield. What are they doing in Seattle? Quandre Diggs and Jamal Adams. I can understand Jamal, but Quandre Diggs,
I know.
what are you
Hate to
doing?
see it.
Is it a cap move? Like, are they up against the cap?
I don't know. You know, I don't like that kind of stuff.
Well, I know they restructured Gino to save some money, so I was wondering if it's
Like,
just a
Quandary can't be that big of a cap hit, though. Like, how much were they paying him?
I don't know. I thought for sure he was still on a decent deal.
Decent, but not like a cap busting situation.
No. If anything, they probably would have gotten rid of Bobby Wagner, but I guess we're gonna keep him.
Well, they might still.
Who knows?
I fucking love Quandary, though, and he had all those cute, like, he also had the cute videos with his daughter and his wife. So, like, I guess that's how you get to my heartstrings. But, like, he did really well, and then they're just like, thanks, deuces. Like,
Yeah. Well, you guys got
I
that
really
new kid.
don't.
Go ahead, Dev.
I just don't understand it because those are two like good football players. Why just straight up cut them? I'd feel like you could at least do what the Broncos did and get a couple compensatory picks out of it.
I have a hypothesis that because there's a new head coach coming in, that he's gonna want to like clear house to some extent and probably get rid of more people than what makes sense because, you
Yeah.
know, he's like making room for his. So, and because I've made a commitment to not hate on the new coach until there's reason to, I understand that that is something that a lot of people do. So that's one of my guesses.
Does make sense.
Then I guess.
But it doesn't mean I like the decision. I just think like it's not totally abnormal for a new coach to come in and kind of get rid of people that are still good.
Yeah, Rams did that when McVay came in. They were just canning people, so I can understand it.
Yeah, that's what it
Well,
feels like to me.
I think Tremaine Johnson was canned not too long after McVay got there. Though. We were talking about him earlier. Well, maybe. Well, they're hitting the market, and maybe they'll bring him back on a cheaper deal. Who knows? So, speaking of hitting the market, Saquon Barkley is hitting the market for the first time in his career. The Giants have said they're not going to place a tag on him, which seems fitting because the Giants are the Giants and they don't know what the hell they're doing. And it's also doing right by him, I guess, because they're wasting his career in New
But
York.
he didn't want to go, right?
No, he didn't want to leave at all.
Yeah, like he was super committed.
But he also didn't want to be tagged again, which is understandable. That's a Lev Bell situation, too. He was tagged for 3 straight years.
Mm.
And then finally said, get me the hell out of here. You're not going to respect me. I'm leaving. Let me go.
Everybody's got their limit.
Right. And Saquon was tagged last year and then signed a 1-year deal just like days after being tagged. And I remember Caleb was a little upset about that back in the offseason last year. Back over the summer, I think it was, right? Like he held out. Didn't he hold out in the summer? Devyn, do you know?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, running backs wanted to get paid last year.
Yes.
I remember that being the big
he was one of them,
season thing.
Okay, yeah, so he held out for like a few $1,000 more, I think.
Yeah, and it was super petty, and we're all
pissed Caleb off. Yeah, so he's hitting the market. Where do you think he's gonna go?
I think he's staying in New York and going up to Buffalo. They just cut a bunch of people. They have a lot of new cap space.
Really?
And they really need a star running back to make that
offense
click.
You think they're gonna move on from James Cook?
I don't think it's a moving on. I think it's come in, be a 2-star, like a split backfield for a year or two, and
that might be good for a ring. It might be good for Saquon's health too, because he's got those lower body issues with the ankle and stuff.
Kind of like a couple years ago with Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard on the Cowboys. They're able to do a good mixture. They're still, I believe, were both 1,000-yard rushers and had a great season for both of them.
That's a hot take.
So he's gonna stay in New York and go to Buffalo.
I could see that.
Wouldn't that be down to Buffalo? That'd be down to Buffalo, wouldn't it?
I think it's
over a little west of. I don't know. He's gonna go to Orchard Park. That's what you're saying. Okay. So Saquon to Orchard Park to tag up with James Cook.
Oh God.
The hell's what? Our live audience is not appreciating that. Okay. What do you think, Julie? You like it too?
Sure. I
know you don't like playing this game.
Yeah. I mean, how fucking pointless. So I'm not in the mood today. I don't know. Why don't I just like put all 32 names on a board and then I'll throw a dart at it and then I'll say that name because it makes sense somehow. I don't have a dart though on hand.
Well,
the way
Cincinnati doesn't have a running back right now. They just released Joe Mixon, so.
Oh my God, it could be them.
It could.
Wow.
It could, yeah. He could go to Dallas too.
Oh my God, he could go to Dallas.
Wow, maybe Washington. Maybe Washington wants him. Possibly the Jets. So I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities for Saquon out there now.
Wow, almost like there's 31 opportunities.
Technically, there's 32 because the door's not closed for a return. So who knows?
Yeah, let's talk about that potential.
All right. We get it, Julie. Freaking. Why are you such a grouch all the time? My goodness. Play along, will you?
Today.
Suspend your beliefs for once in a while. Huh?
It's a little early on a Saturday, so you get what you get.
Early? It's like 2:00. All right, whatever. Franchise tags. Brian Burns in Carolina is being tagged and being wasted in Carolina. Wasted like GTA 5. Wasted
all the years that I tried to love you. Wasted. Sister Wives fans will love that.
Shut your cake. All right, Antoine Winfield in Tampa is being tagged. The pass rushing Josh Allen in Jacksonville is being tagged. Also, Jalen Johnson was tagged, but his tag was precautionary, as was Justin Madubike.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
it sounds like what they say at the games.
Yeah, they were both tagged as precautionaries. Both get 4-year deals. The Bears signing Jalen Johnson to a 4-year, $76 million contract, and Madubike 4-year deal worth $98 million with $75.5 guaranteed. I never really heard of a team tagging someone to make sure they don't hit free agency and then sign them like 2 days later. You? Anybody else heard that? Because like that's new to me.
Didn't you just say the Giants did it with Saquon last year?
They they didn't tag him last year. He held out. He held out for a few extra $1,000, but they were gonna tag him this year. He's like, "Do not tag me."
Yeah, I don't know, but it sounds reasonable enough that I could see people doing it, but it isn't something you hear much about. But
yeah, Baltimore was really open about it. They said they tagged him specifically so he would not hit the mark on Friday deadline.
Sure.
So he paid off, 4-year deal.
Okay, yeah, like that was good choice.
Damn. Damn. All right. Speaking of free agency, Rams re-signed guard Kevin Dotson to a 3-year, $48 million deal with $32 million guaranteed. Team is also going to place restricted tender on left tackle Alaric Jackson, kind of shoring up that offensive line to hope they can keep Matthew Stafford on his feet and not on his ass. So, good for them. Per sources, King Henry's time in Tennessee is all but over. They say the door is still open for return, but not likely. I'll ask Devyn because I know you like playing this. Where do you think he should go, Devyn? Where would you like him to go?
San Francisco. Come be a dual threat with Christian McCaffrey. Let's go win a chip.
Okay, let's go win a chip. Yeah, get a better quarterback, and maybe you will. Oh no!
That's a hot take.
Not really. Anyways,
I mean, Brock Purdy led the league in like damn near every stat.
He also had a running back that was in MVP voting too. So,
okay,
and also almost had 2,000 yards from scrimmage. But let's move on.
The last guy picked in the draft was just playing in the Super Bowl.
Okay, cool. I seen undrafted guys get picked. Undrafted guys have won Super Bowls. So what's your point?
Name a quarterback that's done it.
Kurt Warner. He was undrafted. Okay, that does it for the NFL. King Henry not being in Tennessee is going to look really weird.
Yeah.
But
I think we're getting to the point where he won't be anywhere soon, and not because people won't sign him, just because he's got to retire.
Well, he's turning 30 this year, right?
Really? He looks.
I think he turns 30.
Life has been hard for him then, because he looks a little older than that. But like being a running back for many years is like incredibly taxing. So I'm not trying to be a hater, but it does kind of.
Well, you're not wrong.
Does kind of look like life has been hard for him, and maybe it's time to kick back on the beach or something, you know?
That's why they say the shelf life for a running back isn't very long.
It's really not. It's like 2 years. Like he's like.
Yeah, if you're really lucky, you can last 10.
Yes.
And be at the top of your game for 6 of those years.
Yeah, it's incredible. So like, you know, get your beers on the beach, sir.
Yep. Corona's in Devyn's case.
I do love a Corona too. Corona.
So does Devyn.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, they're good.
Okay. Move on to our next beer of our 6-pack. MLB The Show 24 will feature a road to the show where the user can create a female character for the first time ever. Devyn, let's start with you. What does this say to you about the franchise moving forward?
I think it's great. They're leaning into the FIFA concept with it. The 2K, NBA 2K. They've had the WNBA be acceptable in there, so they're just adapting with the time. I think it's about time.
Yeah, I agree. It's sparked a lot of conversation too on X and other platforms of they should have a mode where it's college softball in the show. Like there was a game actually, Xbox had it and it was college World Series baseball college or some shit like that. NCAA baseball 2005. It's actually a fun game. So I think it's about time because of the fact that NHL has been doing it since like NHL 12. You can have be a pro, create a female player, and use them. So I mean, come on, it's long overdue. Julie, what do you think?
Yeah, and in terms of like sports that we discuss, baseball would probably be one of the easiest sports for women to actually participate in a regular league in because it's the least physical. So
I
like
suppose, yeah.
so like it's interesting to me that it's the last one to do it because we did have a female on our football team in high school, and that was fine. But that would be very difficult on a national level. Same with hockey and a lot of other sports, but like again, like because of the lack of contact and some of the different positions, like baseball feels the most realistic. So yeah, I'm like, yeah, why not? It's a game anyway, so
Yeah.
hopefully they'll have enough pants for.
Oh my God, the pants shortage.
Yeah, we will be discussing that, but hopefully hopefully they have enough pants that aren't see-through for everyone.
I hate that so much. The pants are so stupid. Okay. Red Sox starter Lucas Giolito could miss entire 24 season with an elbow injury. He was slated to be the opening day starter. Now, not so sure. I don't know any other pitcher on the Red Sox besides Giolito at this point. Off the top of my head, I can't think of anybody. Can you? Devyn?
No, not right now. I'd have to do a little bit of research for
Yeah.
that.
Okay. Yeah, that's alarming. The Sox weren't really going to compete this year. Like, based off of what I've seen. What the hell are you doing? You good? Okay. Anyways. Like, you just closed your eyes and sat there.
What?
Nothing. I just seeing shit. It's almost like Caleb's bubbles. I was seeing stuff. Never mind.
And go.
Congrats yourself, Ryan.
Yeah. Okay. Newly signed starter Sonny Gray is up in the air for opening day start in St. Louis. Strained his hamstring in his last spring training start. How concerned should the Cardinals be if he misses an extended period of time? Devyn, let's go with you.
I don't know, honestly.
Pretty concerned.
I'm not too concerned. They have a pretty heavy rotation over there. It's gonna be fine. He'll come back better than ever come August, September. So,
damn,
he'll be all right.
You got him missing that much time with a strained hamstring. Damn. I hope we don't miss that much time.
I'm not a doctor. I don't know.
Restraining it.
I don't know how long people are out. You just said.
So outside of Sonny Gray, they have Miles Michaelis, Lance Lynn, Kyle Gibson, Drew Rom, and Zach Thompson. Cy Young candidates right there.
Yeah, one of the better rotations in the National League.
Sure. Whatever you say, Dev. Reigning NL MVP Ronald Acuna avoids disaster with another knee injury. Team says it's just irritation in the meniscus, and he should be good to go for opening day. Should this be concerning going forward, though, Dev? I mean, he just came off of the knee injury last year. Or the year before, excuse me.
Was it relating to his meniscus?
No, he tore his ACL.
No, well, it all matters. So. It's all the same joint, and it all impacts each other.
Yeah.
It's not great. Maybe you should wear a brace or something because, like, an irritation can lead to something else, but it also can,
right.
And that's a really lucky break in terms of what it could have been. So, like, that's great. But yeah, just wear a knee brace or something. Don't do your squats the same. I don't know, but like, Sounds like he already has the weakest knee, and once you injure a knee, it's
Yeah.
paralyzed. I would know. I have bad knees. So like, once you go down, you go down. Okay, like you're just kind of done. Out for the count.
Devyn's got bad knees too, so he knows all about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
But I mean, like, at least it is just an irritation. That's great.
Yeah, being that he's the center fielder and also the face of the franchise, it should be really concerning though, because he has that
put
irritation.
a brace on.
Yeah, definitely.
Some pants that aren't see-through and you're good.
They can move into one of the corners or DH now and give him time to recover.
I wouldn't put him in center field anymore. I'd DH him for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still got a pretty good bat, so. Cincinnati Reds third baseman Noelvi Marte gets himself banned 80 games without pay for testing positive for PEDs.
That's a lot of games, considering Julio Urias only got like 20 games for beating the crap out of his wife.
We got 20 games?
Yeah, I think it was 20 games. I talked about it last week.
Oh my god. I thought he was put on administrative leave.
No. They were waiting for the Los Angeles police to like investigate,
of course.
and then like they said we're not going to do a felony, we're only going to do misdemeanors, and then it's going to take a while. So the MLB finally, like last week, confirmed it's like 20 games, I believe, and I find that really ironic because it's also his second time in recent years. So once again, a questionable choice.
See, I don't get it though. He's a starting pitcher. 20 games is 4 games for him. He pitches every 5 days.
Yeah, I don't know. They don't give
That's stupid.
But they do about these substances, apparently.
Well, yeah. They had that black eye of the steroid thing back in the 90s, so.
Okay.
Well, isn't there like a rule in the MLB that if you get banned, then this is a certain amount of days that you're supposed to miss? Well, I don't think there's anything wrote in where if you're beating your wife, this is how many you're demanded to get. I mean, I'm not disagreeing at all that you should be banned for an entire season. You should just get kicked out of the league if you're caught beating your wife. But
there's no set limit of like for steroid use and PED use, shit like that. It's first offense is 50 games without pay, miss playoffs. Second, 80 games without pay, miss playoffs. Third offense, 100 games, miss playoffs, and then the fourth one, you're gone. Or I think it's the third one, you're gone after 100 games. You're banned for life or some shit like that.
Whether it's intentional or not, they're saying a lot without saying anything by putting such an importance on one and ignoring the other.
Yeah, that's the thing with other sports leagues too. They don't have a set punishment for this. If you get caught doing this, it's this many games. They just do it based on how severe it is, and it's kind of ridiculous.
I think it's easier to standardize substances than it is like how many like punches did you throw. But at the same, the MLB has that. They haven't had their current like DV rules for that many years. What was it? They brought it in like 2015 or something. Like
something like that, yeah.
I don't think sports leagues in the past they haven't really dealt with it at all, and I don't think they're like that well equipped at figuring it out very quickly either, how to handle these kind of issues. So
right.
Which is certainly no excuse, but it is more complex than a failed P test, like, because that's pretty standard. But again, it's not good optics wise when you can cave in your wife's face twice and then it's like 20 games. Like, but again, like,
their argument could be, how is that going to help him be better at the game of baseball?
I would argue that for a ton of things. That doesn't really stand to me.
I mean, the kid hit 316 and I think 30 games last year with 5 home runs. He didn't really need PEDs, but I guess he's using something that caught him, tripped him up.
Like losing game privilege won't like stop someone from, well, it might be the diversion they need to stop laying hands on women. Yeah. You need probably very real consequences. And sometimes like getting them where it hurts fiscally and like reputationally could be the thing that helps out. So like whatever it takes. So I certainly wouldn't say like, oh, this might not help. Like prison time might not help, but the idea is like to like have consequences. So
Yeah, and then I think the argument here is there needs to be set consequences for everything.
yeah, or just have something that's like at least closer in the ballpark, because a failed P test should not give you like what, like 150% more games lost, like 50 games instead of 20. Like
Yeah,
that optically, it makes it seem like they really don't care too much about what you do to your significant others, optics wise. Whether that's true
yeah,
or not, they need to work on that. Like they could just raise it to like 50 games too, and then it would at least look like they take each one seriously to some extent. Like,
yeah. It's unfortunate how leagues run the disciplinary actions for certain things, but that's I don't know. You can talk to your faces blue on that one. I don't know.
Was Urias actually arrested and charges pressed against him?
he was, yes, and yes, they were, and the felony charges were dropped, but they're still considering pursuing misdemeanors. But like, yeah, like he's
Oh,
not
wow.
free and clear at this point, but like he's not gonna get a felony. So
He doesn't have a Bauer case. Let's put it that way.
He's not just accused at this point.
Yeah,
no,
he actually laid hands where Bauer was different story.
Yeah.
he's catching something, or should, I believe they intend to have him catch something.
Yeah. So, all right, the NHL trade deadline has come and gone on Friday. So we're a day removed from the trade deadline in the NHL, and the Oilers made a move to help them get over that hump. They get Adam Henrique and Sam Carrick from the Anaheim Ducks for a 2024 first-round pick and a 2025 conditional fifth-rounder. Here's a condition. Ready? The condition is if the Oilers win the Stanley Cup this year, the pick becomes a fourth-round pick.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely. So, whatever. It's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
The conditions on these picks, I'm telling you. Okay. The Florida Panthers are pretty busy, though. They make trades for Vladimir Tarasenko from Ottawa for picks. Yeah, you do. You do. Yep. Where the hell was I? Okay, so they traded for Tarasenko from Ottawa for picks, and the Senators eat 50% of the salary left on his 1-year deal. The team also traded for 35-year-old Kyle Okposo from Buffalo. 4 picks. Literally nothing they sent back to Buffalo. So, really trying to go for that veteran presence in the playoffs because they are battling for the 1 seed right now in the Eastern Conference. So, good for them. I think they actually are in the 1 seed. What the hell? Yeah. Any thoughts on that? Anything? Julie? Bueller?
More women who have more input on these things. I feel like they would go better.
Wait, what?
They should have more women who have more input on like trades and conditions and this kind of stuff with all the leagues, because I feel like the diversity of opinion would go better, because I have a lot of questions about the thought process that's happening, and I think the men could use some help.
You don't like these trades? You think they're a little lopsided?
I think they're kind of questionable, and maybe we should get like prenup lawyers to make more decisions on on the conditions for these things.
Yeah,
female prenup lawyers.
The condition for the Oilers trade was freaking stupid. Like, oh, if the Oilers win the cup, it becomes a 4th-round pick for the Ducks. That's dumb.
And somebody needs to talk sense to the Broncos, and I guess like they didn't listen to Walmart enough, because like somebody's got to help these people out, and so like that's my solution. You're welcome.
Does Walmart own the Oilers as well?
No, I'm talking about them and the Broncos. But that's next year.
So, Walmart's gonna own the Oilers next year?
You never know. They're taking over the world.
Anyways, moving on to the NBA.
Our 4th year?
Yeah. Year 4. NBA has announced the destination of yet another disappointing weekend, and that's going to be in Phoenix 2027. So All-Star break goes to Phoenix in 2027. That's 3 years from now, and they're announcing it now. Because tickets apparently are going on sale shortly. I don't know. That seems early, doesn't it? To announce that this is our destination for the All-Star game?
Yeah, that makes my sinuses hurt.
You too? I had that last week. Devyn, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I don't really understand why they're announcing it 3 years in advance. Well, 2 years in advance, I guess, because we have the next 2 already. Yeah. But yeah, maybe just to draw up ticket sales. Maybe I have no idea. You normally don't know the Super Bowl until like the day after the Super Bowl.
Okay. Well, you know it in advance. They usually have like, oh, the Super Bowl will be here, like 3 years in advance.
Yeah, and
but they don't start
attention or care because, like, okay.
And everybody forgets by the time freaking the draft comes around.
My memory is not that long, and I promise you that if you never bring up again where the 2027 NBA
All-Star game is going to be,
yet, I will not remember that it's in Phoenix. Okay.
Of all places, yeah.
We're not going to talk about it again until 2026. So.
Yeah, until they make a change to the All-Star game, we're never going to talk about it again.
Let me go to Phoenix to go for anything.
Let me just.
What's the change, Ryan? What don't you like about the All-Star game?
Ryan's always bitching about all of the games. All the All-Star equivalents.
Well, it was East versus West again. It was a classic game.
Are they still doing drafts?
No, it was East versus West, and they had a classic game. It was the All-Star, the top 15 from each side.
Devyn, it was like 232 to 197.
Yeah?
That is not a good game.
Oh, I didn't say it was a good game.
Luka tossed up a 3-point shot from the other 3-point line and bricked it off the backboard. Just because.
They're just having fun. It's the All-Star game.
I'm just not going to Phoenix for any reason, so that's why I say this. I mean, like,
you think Durant will still be there?
Durant? What about Durant?
You think he'll still be in Phoenix?
He's in Phoenix still? There? I forgot he was in Phoenix. I literally forgot he was there.
There we go.
Oh, well. I don't know. They just need to change some stuff and make it more entertaining. Because the entertainment they bring in is, like, corny as hell for the NBA, at least. It's just they don't play defense. It's just say, oh, here you go. Have at it.
Ryan crying about All-Star games. Let's move on to the next one because we've had enough
Timberwolves
for a lifetime.
Timberwolves big man Karl Anthony Towns to undergo knee surgery to repair left meniscus. He will be reevaluated in a month, but is expected to return early in the playoffs. T-Wolves are currently a half game up on the OKC Thunder for the 1 seed.
Those meniscuses are not behaving.
I know.
What I'm hearing. We need to really get them into line.
My God, it just seems like after football season ends, ACLs just turn into meniscus.
Okay, they just tearing right and left, or irritated, or whatever it was last time.
So, without the big cat, Devyn, What do you think the chances are that they claim the 1 seed?
How many games are left in the year?
Less than 20. Right, because it's March and they second week of April, right?
It's obviously going to be hard for the Timberwolves to hold on to the 1 seed, but I think they have a good chance of staying up in the top 3 still. They have a strong team. Anthony Edwards with that game-saving block the other night was amazing.
Dude, that block was huge.
We don't talk about Anthony Edwards no, I'm just kidding. But he was in a true crime section for that little scandal of his. So
we don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about Anthony Edwards.
Dropped
Stan Kroenke is long for the ride.
40 and had the game-saving block the other
He was
night.
gonna start singing a song about it. We don't talk about Anthony Edwards.
But so I think the Timberwolves are in an okay spot. If Cats can be coming back right at the end of, or right at the start of playoffs, then they'll be okay.
Yeah, they said early playoffs, so that could be like anywhere from like game 1 to game 3. Hopefully they kind of stay afloat. As it looks right now, the Western Conference standings are like tight going into the last couple weeks of the season. So right now they hold a half game lead over OKC, but Denver's right there, like 2 games behind. And you got who the hell else you got? I can't remember who it was.
Don't like 12 teams make it in the playoffs now?
Huh? No, there's still 8 seats. Oh no, you got the play-in tournament too. So 10 teams technically make the playoffs, which is stupid. Minnesota actually lost the 1 seed. They're a half game down for the 1 seed now.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna hold it. Nope.
No, they no. You got the Clippers are 4 games back. New Orleans is 5 back. Phoenix 6 back. I mean, they might be able to hold on. They might be able to keep it or get it back at least. But OKC is surprising as hell this year. Anyways, that does it for that one. Let's move on to This Week in Sports. March 8th, 1971, Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier go 15 rounds at MSG in the fight of the century, which was won by Frazier in a unanimous decision.
An epic moment.
Absolutely.
I don't know what do you say about the fight of the century with Muhammad Ali and the other guy?
Joe Frazier?
Yeah, I'm kidding, but
the other guy.
Yeah, that other guy, like one of the most epic fights of all time. So,
also,
Devyn, you're more about talking about that kind of stuff. What do you think?
Yeah, it's arguably one of the greatest fights of all time.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Did you watch it?
Ago was it? Oh, I've watched it a couple times.
I've watched some of it.
1971.
Some clips. I mean, It is the greatest fight of the century, so like you can't just not have seen it at all.
Well, what about the Thriller in Manila? The Rumble in the Jungle. What about that?
That's a great one.
Yeah.
Ali knocking out Foreman.
Yeah. Whew. Muhammad Ali. You ever watch the movie Ali?
With Will Smith?
Yeah, that's a great movie. I love that. Of course. Yeah, that's a good movie.
I don't think I have yet. I've definitely studied him because
his brain injuries.
Yes, exactly. His neurocognitive decline has been of much interest to me. And one of his daughters was on that one show, the prison show.
6 days in.
60, right? 60
90 days in or something like that.
90 days. Yeah. She was in there and everybody hated her. I remember that. Like it went really poorly.
Isn't his daughter an Olympic boxer?
I think he has multiple daughters.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe one of them is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one was not that one.
That wasn't the one. Okay. Okay.
It was some Gen Pop situations. It might have been helpful if she was a boxer, but.
Oof. Alrighty then.
Well, before you get away from boxing, this week in history just happened a few days ago. Anthony Joshua knocked out Francis Ngannou in the second round. Ngannou is a former UFC heavyweight champion. Now he's 0-2 in the boxing world. It's pretty insane to see.
That's what happens. That's what happens. You come from UFC, or you have to use your hand, or don't have to use your hands all the time. You come into an actual, you just don't do it. I still say
Joshua knocked him down 3 times in 2 rounds. And it was just completely pummeled him.
Yeah.
Really?
I was talking about that.
Destroyed Ngannou. It was pretty amazing to see. But
so
then after Anthony Joshua called out the winner of Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk.
When is one of them going to fight Jake Paul?
Well, Mike Tyson just signed to fight Jake Paul July 20th. It's going to be live on Netflix.
God, that's going to be such a joke.
Are you serious?
100% serious.
Yeah, Tyson just called him out, yeah.
Mike Tyson and Jake Paul just signed.
That's right.
Where is life?
Where is life? I don't know.
Life is amazing. We're going to see Mike Tyson knock out a Paul.
Thank God.
I don't mind it, but God, this sounds like another one of those. His publicity of this sport is really something.
Yeah. It drives me nuts. I can't stand him.
Those brothers know how to make money.
I guess, Devyn.
that's not
I suppose.
at all.
Yeah. Just about does it for the 5-pack. Julie, I think it's your time to take it away. Unless you guys want to talk about Babe Ruth in 1936.
Yep.
Turning down an offer from the Reds.
Our editor may or may not choose to divide this up, making this a 6th beer, or separating the segments, because we don't get to call the shots around here, so it'll be one or the other.
Whoa, settle down.
Yeah. We'll let him make the final choice of where it's divided. But in theory, this is a 6-pack, but it also might be a really great 1-pack. So we don't know.
I'm just fighting words there, Julie.
Shout out to the big man making decisions.
Shout out to IW.
Yeah, he's a big man.
IW over here getting shots fired at him.
I am not. He gets to make
some
calls.
Too.
We make all the other ones, so. All right. So I thought, because it's Women's Her Story Month, that I would honor.
Oh God, that was so bad. Her Story.
Yeah, I like it. Shut up.
Okay. You can give me shit, but I can't give you shit. All right.
So and when I typed it into the PowerPoint, this is the theme I got. I don't understand it, but we're gonna go with it. It was the only Women's History Month theme, so yeah. So we're gonna have some. We're not gonna talk about Women's History Month again at all, but decided to mention it, and we're gonna talk about a little true crime. Right. So Britt Reed. I didn't know how much of a tool this guy was, so that's a new one.
Look at him. It looks like a tool bag.
I mean, y'all said. So I made my boyfriend look at Brad Aldridge, and I said, "Do you think he looks like a total creeper?" And like, he said it was the eyes. So like, sometimes I don't always see it. This guy looks pretty normal to me. He looks like every guy who does a 9 to 5 and comes home and like yells at his wife and just watches TV all night. To me,
what? But... No. He don't look like that at all.
I guess I just.
Creepy.
I guess I don't see it. I guess I don't see the white flags. Devyn, do you agree that he looks that bad?
I don't know too much about this guy, but I will say that he needs a different haircut. His hair's not his head's not the right shape for that hairstyle.
He looks like an older Carson Wentz.
Stop it. Okay, so this is Andy Reid's son, in case you didn't get that.
Oh, and I feel bad about him.
I do not feel bad at all.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Yeah, so the news just broke this week that he had a sentence commuted early. Not this Friday, but March 1st, I believe. So Governor Mike Parsons' office justified his sentence been commuted by saying that Reed completed his alcohol abuse treatment program and has served more prison time than most individuals convicted of similar offenses. 16 months. And he is on house arrest for the remainder of his 3-year sentence. This has gotten some blowback, no surprise there. It's problematic optic-wise because it's shortly after the Super Bowl win, and it just doesn't look great after you find out what he did. And so he's getting a lot of criticism from the victim of the family of the victim, the community, other politicians, like the governor's on the hot seat. Anyway, because he nearly killed a 5-year-old little girl who was in a coma for 11 days and hospitalized for 2 months. He was going 84 in a 65-mile-per-hour zone and he was over the legal drinking limit, and he hit 2 parked cars by the Arrowhead Stadium in 2021, injuring 6 people, including the little girl. She now has developmental delays, is in special education classes, and has poor balance and vision problems, all of which did not happen, were not there before the incident. And to make it worse, he has a history of driving charges, so it makes it even look worse that they let him out early. In 2007, he had a road rage incident when he flashed a firearm at another motorist. He got 8 to 23 months for that. And while on bail for the 2007 incidents, he had another charge when he pled guilty to a DUI and drug possession. He was an employee at a store, called the cops when Britt couldn't find his car in the parking lot. And I guess he's probably like all wobbly, I don't know. And then while he was trying to leave before the police got there, he hit a shopping cart with his truck. And then he was arrested on site. So people were mad because he almost killed a little girl and has irreparably changed her life. And then he gets out of prison early. And so there's a little controversy, but Britt Reed is back at it in house arrest. So there we go. I didn't even know that Andy Reid had a son or that his name was Britt. So we learned some things. Trey Holly. I don't know if y'all heard about this one, but the LSU running back was arrested last month after a shooting in Union Parish in Louisiana. And Holly is being charged with second-degree aggravated criminal damage and illegal use of a weapon, and is being held on a $510,000 bond. He allegedly shot a man in the leg and left a woman in critical condition after she was shot 3 times. And it was provoked by an earlier altercation. So LSU released a statement that Trey has been suspended indefinitely from all team activities, and Holly has taken to social media proclaiming his 100% innocence and that he's been falsely accused. Police believe that there was 3 people shooting multiple rounds, and they expect more arrests. But I gotta say, they really need to stop having these guys in crop tops because it's just disturbing. Like, I just don't know why they have grown men in crop tops in football. Just noting his photo. But for LSU fans or college football fans, this is probably a pretty big blow to them. And also the person who got shot in the leg. So, yep. All right. Antonio Denard. What?
It was a big blow for that guy too.
Yeah. Yep. An arrest has been made in the 2022 taking of life of former NFL player Antonio Denard. The suspect, Jose Pizarro, was arrested on the 5th of March in Brooklyn, and the Pizarro was wanted over 1 year after taking Antonio's life in Reading, Pennsylvania. So that was pretty big in the headlines this week. So a little bit of closure for the Denard family, which is great. Tim Tebow is out here again fighting crime. We've seen Tebow in a new setting this week, this time in front of Congress in D.C. Tebow was on Capitol Hill on the 6th of March testifying about fighting human trafficking and combating child exploitation. His foundation, the Tim Tebow Foundation, focuses on protecting vulnerable children. And they were advocating for some bill, but we won't get into that. I didn't research it too much. I'm just Tim Tebow is out here being a Tebow everywhere he goes. I couldn't imagine a more Tebow-like behavior, frankly, but we are now seeing him on new frontiers. So, yeah, he's like Superman, basically. All right. Chiefsaholic, y'all know about Chiefsaholic, the infamous KC fan.
Wasn't this dude robbing banks dressed as Casey Wolf?
Yep. Xavier Michael Babudar was arrested in July of 2023. And KC fans missed him last season. The 29-year-old was on the run for 4 months prior to his eventual arrest, and is facing 3 charges that Xavier pled guilty to this week. So that's the news, is that he pled guilty to the charges related to 11 bank robberies across 7 states. He stole more than $800,000. He's facing 50 years in prison, $532,000 in restitution, and he has to forfeit any property involved in money laundering, including his autographed painting of Mahomes. And he's facing sentencing on July 10th, so we probably won't be seeing Chiefsaholic for any more seasons, at least for a while. Like, this man is younger than me, and I'm just like, how has he had enough life to, like, create this kind of havoc? It makes me tired just thinking about it.
He robbed 11 banks.
Robberies across 7 states.
Yeah, that's how he had that type of life.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I guess he probably didn't work, so he had a lot of energy to put into it. But anyway,
yeah.
KC fans, Chiefsaholic will be celebrating from inside behind bars, probably.
I wonder if they're ever gonna like tell people you can't dress like this anymore at Chiefs games. Like Casey Wolf.
Why not?
Because of this dude.
I don't. What? So they're gonna start robbing banks once they put on the costume?
Maybe.
Oh God. Okay, so we have some frostbitten Kansas City fans. While we're talking about Kansas City fans, several fans had frostbite after attending the January wild card game with KC and Miami facing off in the -4-degree weather, and it dropped down to -9 with a wind chill of -24, I believe. Dozens of fans got frostbite at the game, a bunch of people were hospitalized for frostbite during this like stretch of really cold weather that Casey had, and obviously because of patient privilege, we don't know the exact numbers, but it appears that over half have been advised that they should have at least like some part of their body amputated, with some already having happened, and roughly 30% of these people are still dealing with ongoing health problems related to the frostbite. So I will be forever referencing this like a grandma when we say like, oh, it's a winter game. It's so much fun to see people fighting in the snow. I will point this out. And it's really unfortunate that people are still healing from that experience. And we see like 2 human icicles right here. I cannot even imagine. Could never.
Look what they're wearing. It's freaking snowing. It's probably -10 degrees. And they're wearing that. Where's the parka? Dress like you're going hiking through Anchorage.
Yeah. When you see people at Buffalo games, they're not dressed like this. They got full-on big well, half of them are naked, but
the other half are drunk too.
Big thick jackets on, not dressed in a hoodie.
Yeah.
Trying to stay warm out there.
It's really their own fault if you think about it. Like, dress for the weather if you're going to the game.
Can you dress for -9-degree weather? I don't know.
Yeah.
For multiple hours.
Yeah.
I don't know. What I do know is that it's really unfortunate, and hopefully people can keep their limbs.
Well, yeah, but still.
Yeah, prepare.
The,
I mean,
the sympathy
again, it
level.
could never be me because I won't even go around to a corner store if there's too much snow.
Well, wouldn't you get lost? Like
What?
in the snow, wouldn't you get lost?
No, it's too cold, man. So like, I don't know. I could never. But yeah,
I don't know.
wear your mittens because
My
it's
sympathy
mostly
level just dropped.
It's mostly it's mostly fingers and toes. That are most heavily impacted, which is interesting because what are you supposed to do? Like put on like 12 pairs of socks and 50 mittens. But anyway,
Actually, yeah.
keep your toes and your fingers alive, everyone.
Feet warmers. Feet warmers.
And so we're having a little public service announcement for Amazon Fire Stick users. Beware, particularly in the UK, if you're using your Fire Stick to stream sports, especially English Premier League, problematically or illegally, watch out. Because in the UK, one individual was arrested for streaming problematically, and 11 were interrogated, and all 12 have warnings and criminal records. So, yeah, this is just a little PSA for our fans that if you have an Amazon Fire Stick, keep it legal. And that's probably the most like retribution we've seen for streaming for like pirating ever. So, well, at least in a long time. So, yeah, maybe get a different device if that's your vibe. My boyfriend is a Formula One fan, and I feel like I've heard more about this than I ever thought I would. They have more drama than a Netflix dating show right now. And I'm gonna forever refer to this as Ginger Spice because I'm a 1990s Spice Girls girly, so Ginger Spice for life.
Oh God, how would I not have guessed that?
Yeah.
You're a Spice Girl for life, aren't you?
Yeah. So Christian
Don't act
Horner,
like you're
her
not,
husband, is out here being a little horn dog. And there's some controversy because he was recently there was an HR investigation because the woman was saying he was acting inappropriately. And I heard also coercion. That he was making his subordinate feel uncomfortable, a female. And also apparently was the same woman who was the recipient of the dirty text that got leaked between Horner and the woman. I don't know if we know her name, but anyway. So yeah. So to make the situation even better, Red Bull has suspended the woman, and we're not sure why at this point. But just as a word to Formula One, it's not advisable that when a potential victim comes out with claims that it's not advisable to fire them because that's usually perceived as what's the word? There's like the official HR word, but you're coming for them, okay? And it looks like you're attacking someone because they spoke out. So like generally optics wise, not good. Okay. So she's suspended, so people are pissed. Verstappen Sr., who has way too much to say about all of this stuff, considering he's just the dad of a racer. And the F1 Red Bull advisor Helmut Marko are possibly the leakers of the text. They are trying to figure out who actually leaked the text. And Marco could get fired over that. And if Marco leaves, then Max Verstappen leaves because he loves Marco. So there's more controversy again than a Netflix dating show. And yeah, we'll see. Note to also when you say that you'll pay the woman to not talk about this anymore, and then when that doesn't work, you suspend her. It's not looking good. So we're just gonna need Formula One to clean it up. And also the Spice Girls have rallied around Ginger Spice, and we love that. Love it. All right. So we got some NBA stuff. Okay, now is this Rajon Rondo? Or is this the guy from Abbott Elementary?
Well, that's everybody. That's the dude from Everybody Hates Chris.
Yeah. Okay, but don't they look similar?
Rajon Rondo and him?
Yeah.
I haven't seen Rajon Rondo like since 2020. So
I put up all these photos and you don't pay any attention.
see, I don't remember. Like in my head, I remember him like years ago.
Yeah, they're twins. You probably wouldn't even notice if I hadn't mentioned it that that's a guy from Abbott Elementary because they look so similar.
No, okay. I knew that was Chris.
Dwight Howard, as we discussed last week, he has some stuff happening. The man involved in the lawsuit. Okay, so Dwight Howard's lawsuit was just dropped against a man, and he has spoken out. So to kind of lay the groundwork again, in 2018, Mason LJ publicly stated he was in a relationship with Howard. LJ sued Howard and another man after allegedly being threatened and bribed to sign an NDA, and said he feared for his safety. That suit was dropped, but then Howard countersued LJ for invasion of privacy, libel, and slander, and that's also very recently been dropped. So what does Mason have to say? No lies were told and no money is owed. And also, homophobia in sports is a horrible issue. Oh, wait. That was my statement. That end part. But they have settled. Again, no lies were told and no money is owed. So a little bit of speaking out. And Dwight Howard is still being sued by that woman, and I forget why at the moment, but he's still in the hot seat. But at least one less lawsuit for everybody. All right, so Rajon Rondo here. This is kind of wild to me. The prosecution fought back in court this week against the defense related to the comments on Rondo's firearm charges. The defense said last week that, or the week before last, that his Second Amendment rights were being like problematically taken away from him. And this week the prosecution said his Second Amendment rights are trumped by the fact that he's a dangerous person, based on the fact that he had a protection order against him. And so this is something that's going on around and around the courts. But he had an emergency protection order granted by the mother of his child after he waved a firearm around her and the kids a couple years ago. So there's another pretrial hearing on this on March 25th. We're following it, and I have a question, since we keep focusing on that specific part of his charges. What about the reckless driving and the drug and schmeed charges? Why are we just focusing on the firearm? But here we are. So just following what's happening in the news. Okay, so Isaiah Stewart, y'all know how he punched Drew Eubanks. Yeah, so Eubanks has been talking about this, and he's looking for a dentist, y'all, because after the Valentine's Day fight, Drew has bloody gums and loose teeth. Stewart knocked this man's teeth loose. And Eubanks initially said he wanted to press charges against Stewart, but then 3 days later, he was like, nah. So I won't say what I think about that, but I'm just gonna say, like, if you can't handle the heat. But this man just gave this man a dentures for life, like, at like however young Drew is. Yeah, so we got a little bit more deets about his dental problems. I guess it was in the police report, and we just found out about it. So Isaiah, don't play.
No, there's a quote that's going through my mind thinking about that, and it's talk shit, get hit.
Okay.
And Isaiah Stewart pretty much
keep my name out your mouth.
Yeah. Yep. Honestly, he dropped the charges because he looked like a little man. He looked like
I agree with
baby
you,
back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I'm like, okay, but like as a person who had enough trauma in one of her teeth, I have one that's loose because I had enough specific trauma to that tooth. Like that shit hurts. And I can't imagine having like multiple teeth all at once. Like nobody fight Isaiah Stewart ever again. Like Drew Eubanks tried it and we see how it turned out.
Well, yeah, but the difference between you and Eubanks is he makes $1 million a year, so he can pay for the dentures. Where, you know,
yeah, absolutely. I'm just imagining how much pain involved that would be, and he's gonna get dentures at 40. So such is the way. Everyone take note. Do not get sucker punched as he described it by Isaiah Stewart. Yes. All right. So here's the pants shortage again that Ryan loves so much. The MLB is being roasted because Under Armour tweeted on an image of their non-see-through baseball pants with a caption saying, "We got you covered."
Literally.
Yes. And a photo of Giants Schmidt, the Giants player Schmidt, is so NSFW that it can't be even on news websites. Apparently it swept through social media, but it was so uncomfortably like lewd that they couldn't even put it on anything like official media. So I didn't get a chance to look at it, but apparently we have some like adult content going here. And Captain Crunch, here's the image that they had. They tweeted Captain Crunch wearing underwear only on the baseball diamond with a caption, "No pants is better than see-through pants," with a laughing emoji. So everybody coming for the MLB. So Milan Lucic here, I'm just clarifying one thing since I don't know if I established it last week. Even though his legal charges have been dropped, he's still suspended for the rest of the season by the Boston Bruins. So, yeah. He won't go into the slam, but he won't get on the ice either. Okay, so Papu Gomez, his appeal of the 2-year doping ban has been denied. And before it was denied, he said he would retire if it was. So it looks like Gomez is gone, but he tried it. He did an appeal and it didn't work. So here we are. That was this week. Yeah. Damon Arnett, just kind of building on what we talked about last week. The prescription medicine, Adderall, that Arnett's lawyers referred to in the previous statement was that he had on him. It wasn't moth with an E, it was just Adderall. And the cops are saying, nah. Yeah, so we found out it was actually a pill stuffed with the moth with an E inside his sock. According to police, the pill was a white and orange capsule with no markings that appeared to be manually opened. And when they opened it again, the white crystal-like substance inside the pill was tested and was identified as moth with an E. The field tests are not 100% accurate, but it's looking like it was not Adderall, Damon. And if it was, why would you put it in your sock? I guess if you don't have the prescription for it, but I think he did say it. So anyway, back in trouble. And Vikings OC Wes Phillips, he pled guilty one day before the scheduled court hearing, so kind of cutting it close, and was sentenced for the amended charge of one count of careless driving, not a DWI. He must serve one more day at the Hennepin County Workhouse. His 30-day sentence was reduced to just 3 days. He needs to complete 1 year probation, do community service, pay $378, complete a MAD victim impact panel. MAD is in Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and comply with any chemical assessment recommendations. So I think that means like addiction counseling and stuff like that. So that's some good stuff. Y'all have any thoughts about that? Any sock smuggling?
Maybe some more of these players should have to take some of these courses.
I don't know. I think y'all are a little younger than me, but did y'all have the thing where MAD like hit all the schools and everybody had like the sweatshirts and stuff? Like it was
no, we had Dare.
Yes. Yeah. I just can't imagine what this impact panel looks like, because I remember how their speeches were to us in school and it was weird. So maybe it's so uncomfortable that they just want to drink and drive again to avoid it. But yep. So Wes Phillips, I did that side by side before, and alcohol has really aged him quick because he looked really young not that long ago. But all right, Tyreek Hill is mad because the rapper Rick Ross is his neighbor. And he's not a polite one, because when Hill's house was on fire in January, Rick Ross went on Instagram Live to document the scene and speculate the cause instead of coming to help or calling or whatever. Hill said, "Rick Ross, man, you had the audacity to talk to a fireman instead of come protect. You got my number, bro." And he didn't appreciate that Ross was putting the whole incident on social media. Ross responded saying he avoided filming family members, so it's all okay. And he assumed Hill would be good because his house would be covered by great home insurance. So rapper Rick Ross is a shit neighbor, is what we found out.
I understand why Tyreek's upset. I would be too. Like, God, call 911. Don't just pull out Instagram.
Okay. I didn't film all your kids and your wife fleeing from the smoking house, so like I'm fine. Like I protected your privacy. Yeah, he's not the neighborhood hero, that's for sure. Also, talking about last week, he said for sure that he didn't break the the OnlyFans model and social media influencer's leg. He said that she tripped over a dog. So that's that whole thing. We went into it really in depth last week, but he said I didn't break her leg when I got really angry and then charged her during a drill. The dog did. So we'll keep following that. And he's finally getting honest about the divorce rumors that were true, even though he was like lambasting his lawyers and everything about like the information coming out. Things were beginning to sour in like the first 3 months of their marriage after discussing a post-nup and division of assets. And apparently once people were told outside the family, that's when all the scandal started. But say your wife is a gold digger without saying she's a gold digger, honestly. The post-nup is what drove them to the edge.
I seen she a gold digger. Who isn't she messing with?
Nice. All right, so
I'm not. Nope. Some broke fellows, I guess.
She ain't messing with no broke to bro.
I'm so tired of Mel Tucker, but he keeps popping up like a bad pimple.
If you're tired of him, why do you keep talking about him?
Because the story rolls on, Ryan.
Like a bat. Do you need some Clearasil or something? Like Clearasil? Do you hear that pimple?
The story has rolled on, and we started it, so we're gonna keep talking about it.
All right.
So Ripe, the woman who is Ripe with an A, survivor, and an advocate, Brenda Tracy, is set to sue Tucker, MSU's board of trustees, and others over $75 million. She's suing because of Tucker's behavior, MSU's flawed investigation, and the MSU alleged affiliated individual who leaked her identity to the media. So we back in the rigmarole, like, because it wasn't enough with the whole MSU thing. She is now, I get that she's upset and the case was crazy and like the results not great, but I'm like, do we have to do this again? Because I'm so tired of this man. But anyway, Brenda Tracy's getting her justice, so Antonio Brown. I don't know if you've seen it, but he's going to ham on Shannon Sharp. Like on Twitter, he's questioning Shannon Sharp's sexuality last week again, and this week he's comparing him to the Toy Story character Rex because they have a similar satchel bag. And AB is also coming for Taylor Swift. He tweeted on a photo posted by a Swiftie fan account and said, body like a saltine cracker. And he not even wrong though, but anyway. That was not polite. And he angered people by posting a creepy AI photo he had of him kissing Taylor. He did.
I saw that. That was creepy.
Yeah, and it's opening more dialogue on individuals who are being exploited when their images are AI edited to do like adult things. And so this is just another example. It's not as serious as like when they have the adult films, but I think because it's two famous people, they're using this as an opportunity to talk about how damaging this is to people.
Yeah, as they should.
Jackson Mahomes, he has 6 months probation for the assault case, assault case that we've been following. And police are determining if he's eligible for work release for some reason. His probation is unsupervised, meaning he won't have a parole officer. He just has to keep his nose clean on his own. Yeah, Mahomes pled no contest to a simple battery charge. This is related to the incident where he allegedly tried to SA the woman at the restaurant and bar when he like went to her office and attempted to create physical contact that she didn't want. Those charges were dropped because she didn't want to testify, which makes a lot of sense to me. But there is also a arrest charge because a assault charge because he shoved a waiter out of the doorway when they tried to come in and intervene. And so he like put bodily harm on this individual who was trying to come in and protect his victim. So that's what he's getting the 6 months probation for. And Henry Ruggs, Derek Carr shared that Ruggs sent a text of a video of his golf swing to Carr and Hunter Renfrow just hours before the event. And this was promoted. We gotta talk about this because they have this new thing where they have sports articles that were written. This one was originally written in 2021, but without making an update, they can somehow like repost it so that it looks like it happened a couple days ago. And this has been a really big issue for me because I'm looking for recent news and it'll be like, oh, this happened like last week, but when you look, it's an article that was not updated at all from 2021 like this one. And I'm just like, why does this keep happening and how? Because it's like not any new relevant information. It still has the old date on it. Anyway, we got to talk about that because they really they clickbaiting us out here. And Carr and Hunter Renfrow is a perfect example. And so I'm going to vent about it also because I didn't want to take them off this PowerPoint because it's a lot of work. So, yes. All right. The Spygate scandal. So I don't know if y'all heard about this, but Spygate and Deflategate have been back in the news because of the Apple TV show Dynasty did an episode on it. And it's providing a lot of information for us. For example, Darrelle Revis, the cornerback of the Patriots, recalls Brady sobbing in the locker room, telling teammates that the allegations related to the Deflategate were false and that he wouldn't ruin the season for everyone. And his parents were devastated too. His mom even called him Tommy. And he said nothing. Bill Belichick is projecting cognitive dissonance by saying that's all in the past. And Brady did talk previously about Spygate and Bill's orders. And this is sketch. Look, this is what Bill told everybody during Spygate in 2007. He said, look, none of you players had anything to do with it. Just shut your mouth. Focus on what your job is. None of you guys know anything about it. None of you guys have any information about it. I'll deal with it how I need to deal with it, and you guys just focus on your job. So that's that Bill Belichick energy right there. And I'm like, are you telling them that they don't know anything, or are you like telling them that they don't know anything? But anyway, we're getting a lot of different. Definitely watch the episode because it is full of scandals. But we're getting like new information and some drama, and now we can all picture Tom Brady sobbing in a locker room almost 20 years ago saying, I didn't deflate the balls. So that's definitely worth it.
It's kind of sad.
Well, not 10 years ago, Tailgate.
It was, oh yeah. No, yeah, you're right. I was thinking about Spygate.
The first allegations, Spygate is like 14 years ago, but the first allegations of it was definitely over 20 years ago.
Was 2007, so that was 18, 17. Yeah.
Was it 2007? I thought it was 2011.
That was 2007.
Okay. Still, that's almost 20 years ago. Yeah, you're right.
Yep. Yeah. So we're getting more hot goss, but definitely watch the show because they go into all the scandal in detail and get all the good deets. So
what's it on?
Apple. It's an Apple TV show called Dynasty. It's their 4th episode. So the Kelsey shove is back in the news because Andy Reid talked about his son, Britt. Just kidding. He talked about the Kelsey shove because he wouldn't talk about Britt. No, they didn't even ask, but I would love to hear him talk about that. He talked about the shove with Colin Cowherd because Colin still needs to ask about that, apparently. And Andy Reid said he would have forearm ripped Kelsey if he saw him coming. And I'm like, do you mean a pimp slap or something? Like, what is a forearm rip? That is the most baby boomer thing I've ever heard in my life. Okay.
That's some like Texas territory type shit.
Forearm ripped. I would have loved to see him forearm rip him too.
I came around that corner, I hit him with a forearm rip right there.
Okay, I took him out back and forearm ripped him. And he said Kelsey is like one of his kids, which might explain a lot after we got all his actual kids.
Oh boy.
I had to put that one in there. Okay. The Kansas City parade shooting, we'll be talking about this until the end of time. The man who tackled one of the alleged shooters, we already talked about one of the gentlemen who was one of the tacklers, but another one, Paul Contreras, was honored by his work in Kansas City, being heralded a hero. He was awarded the Distinguished Service Award by the Metropolitan Utilities District, or MUD. And Contreras heard people shouting to tackle a running man, so he did. And we love that because we've seen a lot of cases where even people who are supposed to intervene don't. Police officers. So it's nice when we have like actual regular individuals who go above and beyond. And I like to shout out the heroes in this situation since we have to talk about all the dark stuff so much. Lindell Mays, one of the arrested adult alleged shooters, appeared in court requesting bond. He wants bond less than $1 million because he has bond. He just don't have $1 million. He was supposed to have the bond hearing last week, but it was 2 weeks ago, as we discussed last week, but he was rehospitalized because he got shot 9 times, including in the face. He was rescheduled for this last Monday, but his public defender didn't show up, so it was rescheduled for Tuesday. And then at that point, his lawyer requested to delay it for next week, so it'll be this upcoming Monday, the 11th of March. And what I was really intrigued is we have public defenders not showing up to their clients' cases, and I'm just like, everybody is has a legal right to have a good defense, and it's not a great sign when you don't even show up. So, all right, our last two here, Michael Thomas. Thomas went off this yesterday and the day before that, especially focusing on Times-Picayune columnist Jeff Duncan, calling him a gardening tool, and claimed that the Saints leaked information to him to try to ruin players' value. But see, I'm not broke, so I can speak on it. He is broke, so he needs clicks. Speaking about Duncan and accusing the Saints of leaking information. He also said Duncan looked like he took them salt things. And I don't know what that means, but I think he might be talking about the salt pills, and when you have salt pills and you retain water and you end up looking puffy. So that's my best guess, but what a weird diss. He looks like he took them salt things. I'm gonna use that one. I don't even think people would know how to react to that if I'm like, you look like you took some salt things. Like, what? Anyway, Thomas's agent came out and he confirmed that Thomas was already intended to be a free agent based on his contract with the Saints and not anything else. In other words, Duncan is saying the sky is blue because he was always supposed to be released. So like, he don't need to talk about it like it's news. Reports that Thomas called Dennis Allen a loser are out there too, and I find that to be a stretch. He's not giving any compliments though, and in this tweet, I still am having a bit of a hard time grasping it, but he said, "It's because we not yes men, so we cancers, but under a winning coach, we are looked at differently. It's a mentality that makes losers uncomfortable because they're used to losing all their career." So I think he's implying, and I don't know who, but that people look down upon their behavior because they're not winning, which is true because if they were winning, nobody would have anything to say about their behavior. But I don't know if he means that Dennis Allen doesn't like them because they're not winning. But then he also says that losers are uncomfortable with their attitude because they're used to losing all their careers. So some people feel like that's him calling Dennis Allen a loser. That's a stretch. He did definitely call Jeff Duncan a hoe, but I don't know that he called Dennis Allen a loser. But he's calling someone, some groups, some people, somebody it's not a kind tweet. I don't know exactly. I feel like it can be interpreted a different way, but like, yeah, he didn't say Dennis Allen was a loser, but he could have because he is. And we all know he's weak sauce in the locker room. And I think that also points us out because nobody feels like an issue with confronting people who talk about Dennis Allen. So lost the locker room, just another sign. So Jerry Jones, good gravy. So his SA case is being delayed again. The jury trial was set to start on March 18th, but now it won't be. A new date has not yet been determined, but it's being delayed again. And his very busy lawyers are also challenging the constitutionality of the Texas laws that would compel genetic testing of Jones after the judge said last week that he has to provide a DNA test. Look, from what I've found out with like the whole Brian Kohlberger case and everything, when they start talking about the constitutionality of
what the hell? What just happened to you?
She turned southern.
Yeah, I went all Texas.
Constitution.
Yeah, when you have to talk about the constitutionality of established laws, it's not a good sign. This man will not give up his DNA to prove if he is or not the father of this young lady who's come out and said that he is.
They need Maury.
Yeah, literally. And he is dragging all his cases. He's in 3 lawsuits right now. The SA situation, the lawsuit's relatively new, but it's based on a alleged incident in 2018. And Jones has been kicking the can down the road since 2022 with this whole DNA paternity situation.
Sounds like what he's doing with the Cowboys roster, kicking the can down the road.
Yeah, literally. So he has some Bill Belichick cognitive dissonance happening here. It's all in the past, but eventually he's gonna have to give up his DNA, and apparently there's gonna be a jury trial on his SA case. So I feel like we're gonna find out more about Jerry Jones's personal life in the upcoming years than we ever wanted, because he can avoid it for a long time, but he can't avoid it forever unless he die first, I guess.
Yeah, let's die first.
Yeah, so like I can't not wait till we get the hot goss on what's going on, because I feel like Jerry Jones' personal life has some juicy stuff going on in it.
What's the girl's name again?
I forgot.
Tell you, we need some Maury shit going on over here. Quick.
We do have some Maury stuff, and if he would just give up the DNA instead of fighting the constitutionality of Texas laws, we would have.
Jerry, in the case of Sarah Bareilles, you are not the father. Probably.
Yeah, and I think he's gonna have to explain to his elderly wife.
Does he have to, though?
I mean, she's probably gonna have some questions. Yeah.
Does he have to answer them, though?
What do you mean? Well, I guess he can. Eventually, they're gonna strap him down on the table in court and just take a buccal swab, a mouth swab, and just.
Well, that's not constitutionally right.
Like, you can't avoid it forever, and I cannot wait for this jury trial when all of the hot gossip about his little SA behavior is gonna come out. All right, and
yeah, for real. Oh boy.
Yep,
it's been a great show.
That is this week in true crime and sports.
Dev. We gotta get Devyn here
now, but last week I believe it was, I wrote an in-depth article about Chance Comanche and the whole like him and his ex-girlfriend taking the life of that young lady. Yeah, I went into detail about all of it because we just been reporting about it. And so I wanted one place where you could find all the information instead of just segmented, what's happening now. So I will probably do that with a few other cases where they're longer or, really in depth, where there's just like one place where all the information is. But if you want to check out that true crime, Yard Barker liked it, so they shared it.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I remember the good old days with Yard Barker.
I'm not bragging about being on Yard Barker, it's fine. But
I made it there before. It was awesome.
Greatest it is awesome.
Greatest film ever. It led to the greatest $90 ever made.
Yes. Not that this is the first time, but it's always nice to see my work being given the attention that it deserves. So anyways. Yep, so check that article out. And I think that's it. So make sure to comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, ding. And thank you so much, Devyn, for being on the show today. He's a good friend of Ryan's and of the show, so we forgot to introduce him like a guest that he is, because we're just so comfortable. So Devyn, if do you want to share your social media, your podcast, because you are a wrestling man, as our fans know from your last time on the show. You have a podcast about wrestling, right? So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's called the Kick Out Crew podcast. It's me and 4 other buddies just recapping a time in history each week, and we go back and just kind of hang out. We have topics that we'll go through each week, and it's all about anything in pro wrestling, from back in the early 1900s, but all the way up to recent stuff. But we cover it all. But I really appreciate you guys having me on today. This was fantastic. Like you said, it's my second time being on, and each time I get to talk about more sports than just wrestling. Like I truly love it. So Thank you, guys.
Yeah, where can we find you on social media, Dev?
At Devyn D19 on all social media platforms.
And Devin is the person probably who's most invested in my true crime segment, so he is always welcome back. If he wants to replace Ryan, 2 weeks, that also works when Caleb is back. He couldn't be with us this week, but but our thoughts are with him and we look forward to having him back. Yeah, so when he comes back, Devin, you can take Ryan's place. What did I
ever do?
And your podcast that you talked about, Devin, that's on YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. We're actually signed with a Premier Streaming Network, and we're on their app there as well.
Nice.
Also on Spotify.
Yeah, we're on Spotify, wherever you find your podcasts.
Yeah, I listen on Spotify.
Shout out.
Oh, thanks, Ryan.
Sometimes.
Yeah, well, we want the fans to know where to get all your content, so that's great. Okay.
Thank you. That is at Kickout Crew.
At Kickout. Yeah. Got it.
Almost.
All right. I think that's it, gentlemen.
Yeah, it was a great show.
Okay. See you later, fans.